that would, so to answer your question, that's what you're weighing up.
Yes.
But you might realize that, hey, if they import, we got duty on fish, you got 3 guys on a truck, you got custom, like, it stimulates the economy more than Willie and Corey going on the 30-foot Bertram and bringing back 6 Wahoos. Okay?
Gotcha.
But I think that's why I keep saying we need a new system.
Yes.
Because the hands-off system of, you guys will get there.
You know, another thing of us, the study that was done is that we have less commercial fishermen.
Well, again, you have to care.
Yes.
And this is a country where greed and money has always made it. So who cares? If, how many, 200, 400 fishermen? What do you think? 60?
Yeah.
Whatever it was, whatever the number is, who cares?
Right.
No, you can take the assumed demographic of the Bermudian fishermen, and if I ask you, how do people feel about taxi drivers?
Right.
Take the assumed demographic of a taxi driver, and I could then, shall I continue? So we need the system to honor these things. Something, and this is fishing, like I said, I didn't do any research on this. This is just walking around, and I saw the thing, and I said, one way to deal with the amateur fishermen is to restrict it. So wardens are going around on the weekend, in the bays and inlets, docks and bridges. You Bermudian? Yes? Cool. You Bermudian? No? Fine.
But I'm going to bring up this point. The biggest problem across government is enforcement.
I know why you think that. I think you're a bit...
I have some fishing hills, they would never catch me.
Oh, yes, but you're unlikely to have them if you're foreign.
Well, I saw a foreigner somewhere one day.
Then report them. Yeah. What I'm trying to get at, mate, I'm not... Okay. I am the last person who wants a law, a regulation, or anybody's behavior changed because they have to.
Gotcha.
I hate speed bumps. Okay? I think the average Bermudian, in fact, more than the average Bermudian, I think Bermudians are more understanding than that. And so a speed bump creates the anger. None of us like authority. We live in a too small country that's got boards and cabinet ministers and police and customs and orders. We don't like authority as our people. And so that speed bump is saying we aren't good enough, we aren't decent enough to slow down,
to govern ourselves,
And I don't like, there's more and more of this coming in because we have leadership, and I'm not even talking about the House of Assembly only, okay? But there are things happening in our country that I can see are deteriorating the fabric of society. Okay? And a lot of it is because, I'll call it the speed bump.
Yes.
The law, the rule, the Old Testament view, okay? Rather than the one that says by grace, right? Or because you're Bermudian, or because there's a new system, or because we've got a new government, or because the hospital this, or because the football team that, or we're doing it differently, right? Cop match, because we literally can't. I asked someone this morning, have you seen the artist impression on the renovated hospital?
Okay.
Because, we have people being treated in hallways right now, right? We have people all over the place. So I asked, have they seen the artist impression for the renovated hospital to increase capacity?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Me either. And so I said to the person, I don't think there is one.
Right.
And he said, no, there isn't. To which I said, do you see my point? We should just accept that we were paying off a hospital that was built too small, and just accept being Bermudian means you might be treated in the hallway.
Wow. Yeah.
And there's not even an impetus to say this isn't good enough. Remember last week I was saying you go to an office or you take a leadership role, you're like, man, this may be the best, but you're trying to maintain, then you're just going to maintain. We will be in 2045 being treated in the parking lot by then But what I'm getting at, right, if you don't go in and take every opportunity, job, whatever it is, thinking, I'm doing a paper right now, Billy. Right now. I'm going to submit it tomorrow. If you knew what I've done man, are you sure you got this one right, man? And the total paper.
Right.
All in, 16 pages.
Wow.
That's no, what I'm saying, in the scheme of things, 16 pages isn't that deep. It's 10,000 so words. But what I'm getting at is I read one sentence and I said, I'm not sure I can say that. And of course I can say it. Or I could change a word.
Right.
I definitely could have said it. Mate, that one sentence and one word in that sentence took me over 48 hours.
Okay.
I've been down a 48-hour rabbit hole to see if that one sentence in a 16-page document could be said. I tell you, I need to knock off. I tell you, when I'm in these things, I go, wait, that's wow, a sign about bait fishing could trigger, maybe only Bermudians have the right to exercise that culture in Bermuda. Well, it's our culture.
Well, solutions will definitely are supposed to bring about action.
Well, you have to care and think that being Bermudian is special. Well, you have to, and right now, passports, driver's licenses, public education, you tell me any difference between the PRC and us other than voting?
Well, I'll say this. Does action equate to willingness?
Okay. Let me give you an example. I think that if you don't believe you're on a mission, or if you don't believe there is a bigger picture, then you can get away with whatever standard or lack of standard you believe in or have. And the action part, so take what we just said about Bermudian and fishing, right?
Right.
I don't expect that anybody who could make that decision was listening, and I don't expect that idea was so profound and great and automatically sensible that they should implement it tomorrow.
Right.
But do we approach the job thinking there's a better way? Thinking I have to do better than it's been? Something weird occurred to me on the weekend. And I was thinking about telling you this, like, on the weekend. I said, I'll wait till Monday. And, sorry, there's something that's happening with me, and I think there's going to be a third C.
A third C?
Yeah. So since I've been on the show, right?
Right.
Here's the first C.
Right.
We were talking about old Bermuda. Remember those wonderful days when we had all those, you were hearing
stories,
foot stumps on wooden decks of ships, and you smelled the old leather.
Rattling,
Right, you remember those? It was so simple those days.
Yeah.
Those days were so simple compared to now, all this politics and anger. So, back then, I talked about the causeway.
Yes.
And I said, if I ever start a movement, I think I'm going to use the word causeway. And I'm not starting a movement or a political party or any charity. But the reason why was because the causeway was opened in 1871. And if anybody listening to the show, sorry for boring you, but I'm just going to recap this.
Right.
But so Summers comes in 1609. 1612 was when you would say Bermuda was settled.
Yes.
Okay. So settled in when? 12.
Yes.
All right. But right out of my head.
Yeah, you were talking about the causeway.
1871.
Right.
We opened the causeway. We built and opened the causeway.
Yeah.
Now, it's not what we have today, right? There was one built, parts of it got washed away, rebuilt, parts of it got washed away, rebuilt. Firm. Yeah, Fabian.
Yeah.
Firmer. The causeway, though, it almost doesn't make sense. It's almost the opposite of being Bermudian. Because it was so visionary.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the deal. 1871, we don't have cars. So nobody has, man, we need to connect. There were, just so you know, there were no planes flying in and out of Bermuda at that time either. So there was no need to get to the airport.
Yeah.
And although the treasure of the 10th parish was inaccessible by road, we really weren't missing St. George's, folks. But St. David's, folks, we really needed to make a connection. Relax, is all good. But so what I'm saying, so 1871, we had been here from 1612.
Yes.
1612 to 1871, that's 250 years.
Yes, it is.
Who would have thought 200 years after here that there was something that massive needed in the country?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you would have thought, well, that's the that island's over there. We're over here. You sail across.
Right.
We had a horse ferry. We had a flat ferry. We had all kinds of stuff to go from Coney Island over there.
Yes.
Not a problem. But someone, for horses, I guess. But we had a horse ferry. It was a flat ferry that took you over from Coney Island to whatever. So some group or person or whomever had a vision of that causeway 250 years after we arrived. And it's been there for 250 years.
Yes. Wow.
Pretty much. And so what I'm getting at, you know what I mean. What I'm getting at is that development, that construction is visionary for me, because why would we have done that?
That's true.
Like, and so right now, imagine, let's say 2070, Bermuda's got a clear plexiglass, well, it'll be stronger than that, tunnel that tourists love, that Bermudians love, that takes you from dockyard to town. Okay, you get to see fish and sea life and all this stuff under this glass tunnel. Okay, some people might think, you mean those folks had 48,000 vehicles and had the same roads from 1620 before they did this? Okay, Somerset Bridge was constructed around 1620. You see any different roads to get to Dockyard from Southampton?
None.
And yet, from the east to Hamilton, how many roads are there? Right? The one time that I think about East people is when there's been an accident. Because there was an accident past the aquarium the other day. Yeah, look, turn off on Harrington Sound Road, do a thing. If you're trying to get to Sunset, you may have to go the way, run, and come back. Try that up the west. You just turn off your car and wait. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So Causeway is the first C.
Yes.
Cassava is the second one.
Yes.
It occurred to me. Bermuda Versal. But you know what I mean? It's universal. It's a thing. It's crosses, ages, and races, and genders, and tastes. People like.
Yes.
Thank you. And so cassava and causeway. So at some point, there's going to be a third C. I don't know what it's going to be, but I get the feeling when that happens, then we'll know we've arrived. So at the moment, causeway and cassava. You look a little shaky there.
No, only because I'm listening to you, especially as you mentioned the west end of the island, and basically after a certain point, it's only one road in.
Yeah.
When we had an opportunity to make it two.
Did we now?
Yes, we did.
When was that?
That was back in, was it 1950s?
63. 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't too long ago that we had that opportunity.
Exactly.
But it was refused.
National trust.
The refusal of it wasn't for the best of the island. It was for the best of certain individuals.
You got it. And that's how we run.
And we still suffer as a result of that decision.
I tried to make an oligarchy of 12 people. Didn't even need 12 chairs.
Right.
Didn't even need 12 chairs to cover the food, the money, construction. It took very little to build an oligarchy in 2025. But yes, so not Nikita's fault. Well, she didn't have to post that. Then, I probably would have had a much more peaceful.
And your rabbit holes.
Exactly. But it just made me think that why not restrict fishing to Bermudians?
Yeah.
it is a cultural thing. That's why it's difficult to restrict or prohibit amateur fishing. And because, like I said, guys go out on a punt, a boat, a rowboat, a lilo, a canoe.
Yes.
But you know what I mean? And if they're just at the rocks, at the fishing holes you're talking about.
Yes.
You know, it's a cultural thing. So there's a guy on TikTok. I don't even think he takes his helmet off. He throws it from the rocks. Right? That fellow's deadly.
You see what he catches? He didn't even have to have a boat.
But I hear his accent, so it's cool.
Yeah, it's all right.
You know what I mean? He gets a pass.
Yes.
But I honestly think that's at least an approach.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you have no records, all you can do is limit access.
It's true.
So limit the access. Mm-hmm. And it's something you can enforce.
I'm glad we had this conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I am. No.
Okay.
It makes a lot of things clear as to what's really happening and what we subscribe to.
Cassava and Causeway.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you something about, I haven't fully read this report.
Right.
I'm still taking it in, but I did read, I took one section.
Yes.
And I said, I wonder what really thinks of this.
Okay.
And so I spoke to someone in advance, and they said, make sure you talk to Willie first. And I said, that's not the rule on the Corey Butterfield show, so no, I'm not telling him.
Thanks.
Not a problem. Anytime. Okay. What I have, and we're not going to do a lot on this, but I'm curious, some interesting stuff here.
Sure.
This is an excerpt from the Registry General.
Wow.
Report. The Registry General, in case you are not aware, is the place that records births, deaths, marriages, and a number of other things. That if you want to apply for charity status, I think they used to. There's a number of stuff at the Registry General, a lot.
Right.
So the report has been published. I haven't had a whole lot of time to look at it, but I did look at the births and deaths. And I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
The first thing, I got to give you a startling statistic. This one, and by the way, all the data I give you is for the year 2024.
Okay.
Okay, so not just last year. You know what was startling for me? That we had 616 deaths and 425 births.
Oh, wow.
That's not sustainable, bruh.
No, it isn't.
But our death rate has decreased. So we're not dying to frequency as 2023, which is a bit weird to say. And our birth rate decreased 2.6% in 2024
Wow.
from 2023. And, that was a little bothersome for me. There was, and you know why it bothered me? Because this day was coming. And I'm not going to go deep on this one.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
Because if I do, we're both going to leave here depressed. And I ain't having that on a Monday.
That's right.
Okay? But there was a woman brought to Bermuda, a notorious racist, eugenics, you black people having too much children, was brought to Bermuda by the government. And the impact of that approach and what was said and done to black Bermudians at that time, we still feel the impact today.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, I'm not going on that path. But and this is going to sound sick, what I'm about to say. It's going to sound crazy, I get it.
Okay.
But the tying of children to whether someone thinks you can afford them or not is what happened here.
Okay.
It was and is pretty obvious which racial demographic has more children. And if that's the demographic that is attacked for having children,
Right.
what do you think happens to the population?
Well, the population gets affected.
And then you bring in
Yes.
as you say, what you need to bring in. But of course, if you are up the top with the wealth and the power in the country, who cares who's below you?
Yeah.
Whether they're also born in this country or something. All that matters in your world is they're beneath.
Yes.
Right? That's it. It doesn't. So it's within the beneaths that we need the strategy.
Yes.
Okay? And 616 deaths and 425 births is not great.
No.
There were 329 marriages performed. You think that's up or down on 2023?
I'll just take a guess.
Sure. It's going to be, I hope it's all a guess, unless you know.
That's down.
Up.
What?
A 5.8% increase.
Well,
More people got married in 2024 than 2023.
Wouldn't that equate to more children being born? I would think.
I wish I had a song played out. I just go straight to commercial. Mate. You listeners, let me. I can't believe you just. It might really,
Right.
nothing. I'm just saying you. Okay, so I'll just. What did you say? I said, right, that there's a 5.8% increase in marriages in Bermuda in 2024 over 2023. To which you said,
Oh, that should equate to
more children.
More children.
Right, more births.
Yeah.
I paused because I realized how much of a... I thought you were setting me up. Honestly, I couldn't see any clear way to answer you without putting myself in trouble.
Well, you asked me to be objective.
Well, yes, but this paper does something that I wasn't going to read out.
Okay.
Okay? I was not going to read it out.
Okay.
At all. But you've now removed that, and I think I have to.
Okay, I'm listening.
I can't believe he did this. All right. For the year ended 31st December 2024, the total number of live births recorded was 425, a decrease of 11 from the 436 births from 2023. So we've gone down in the number of births. Okay. This, understand, I'm reading, right? This is none of this is Corey wrote. The number of births that occurred out of ...247 children were born to married parents. 178, about 70 difference, were born to parents who were not married. I just needed to say something. I wasn't going down this path at all, right? I skipped this, and I was in marriages. Yeah. You triggered, I'm now doing it, but I've skipped over the original question I had, which was, I know from politics, studying politics, being involved as a consultant, not as a elected member.
Right.
That families are what governments prefer.
Yes.
It creates a stability, but not just a stability. It sort of creates, and this is going to sound bad, but money. Right? Willie, living by himself, uses X amount of electricity, X amount of water, buys X amount of food.
Yes.
You're probably not paying tuition to a private school. You're not buying school uniforms. You're not putting a child in kinder music and gymnastics. And okay, but a family of, say, 4.
Yes.
Oh, boy. And especially where it's a gap between the children where they can't just have the hand-me-downs.
Yes.
So 18 months between the two or 2 years. No. Like 5, 6 years? The family needs a house, they need a mortgage. And so the parents are stable because they can't lose their jobs because they got schools and mortgages. And so I understand overall the role of marriage when you look at a society and an economy from a strictly hard politics view.
Yes.
I don't quite understand why we've recorded births and deaths like this.
Okay.
In terms of in and out of wedlock. I just don't know. I'm sure I can get to it eventually. Like I said, I haven't read the whole thing.
Yes.
But there are some interesting things here. Would you like to guess, or should I keep telling you stuff?
Keep telling me stuff, please.
I like when I ask you and you guess, but all right, fine. All right, we have 9 parishes.
Okay.
Which parish do you think had the most children?
Pembroke.
Do you think that's because it's the most populated, or do you think that's just the way it is?
Probably because it's the most populated.
You think Pembroke had the most? Okay. I'm just making a note because I want to make sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Willie says Pembroke had the most. Question for you.
Sure.
You think Pembroke had the most out of wedlock?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you think Pembroke had the most in wedlock?
No.
Okay. Would you like to know
the
parish
results
had the most children?
Yeah, please.
Okay. In 2024, the distribution of births went like this. Number 1, Pembroke. You sound proud.
No. It's just...
Number 2, Warwick.
I was going to say Warwick too, it's just a mix-up. Anyway.
Number 3, okay, Warwick and Pembroke, you might think population-wise.
Yes.
So I would almost bet you the chances of you getting the third one right are 0. Like, if you get the third one right, mate, we'll swap seats on Wednesday.
Devonshire.
Hamilton Parish.
Wow.
Exactly. Take a guess who comes out of Hamilton Parish?
St. George's.
Devonshire.
Oh, Devonshire. Okay.
Devonshire had 41 and Paget had 40.
Okay.
Sands and St. George's had 35. Southampton, 32. And somebody's got to go talk to the people on Smith's Parish. They may need to give them some Netflix. Netflix and chill. Well, they may not have Netflix in Smith's Parish.
Well, how many retirees live in Smith's Parish?
Easy. What are you trying to say about retirees?
Well, what I'm saying, you got a certain age, you're not going to make children.
Oh, right. I'm thinking about practicing making children. Sorry. You're absolutely right. I was thinking about the practice. I'm glad you cleared that up for me. I'm here. I was about to take you on. I say, mate, science is taking care of what you talking about. And I realized you're talking about having the actual children. I was thinking about that.
Yes. Not adoption.
No, I was thinking about training for having children.
Right.
I got that part wrong. Because that's why I was going to tell you between, blue pills and all sorts, but having the actual child. So the highest was Pembroke with 84 children born in 2024.
Okay.
And the lowest was Smith's, 21.
Okay, Smith's.
Okay, Smith's, what are you...
Coming up, because somebody has to bring up the rear.
That's what I'm saying. I think they may need some more Netflix subscriptions at Smith's Parish. Okay. There were 329 marriages performed in 2024. Got a question for you.
Sure. You're enjoying this, aren't you?
No, not at all. I'll let you know when I read data I'm enjoying.
Right.
Okay? I'll let you know. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because I think we all, including me, make a lot of assumptions about our country.
Yeah.
And we have some data here. And so I don't have to, if I can do it, I will just read it out if you want me to. Do you want me to do it rather than ask you?
I'm having fun doing this.
Okay, well, you just...
And you know something?
You just...
I think the listening audience are probably going along with this, and they're gassing too.
So then why you just tell me off? Okay, cool. So marriages, right?
Yeah.
There were 329
Yeah.
in 2024, and there were 310 in 2023.
Okay.
Now, let me ask, do you think more than half or fewer than half of the marriages in Bermuda took place where both parties were not residents?
Wow, that's a big one.
I'll
So
ask
you mean Bermudians marrying, or just marriages generally?
either between a Bermudian and one person is non-Bermudian, or two Bermudians, right? So you put them in one category.
Yes.
But I'm asking you, how many was nobody a Bermudian, neither spouse?
Yeah.
Do you think more or less than 50%?
I would say just a little less than half.
Well, I'll tell you what. 35.6% took place where neither party was resident of Bermuda.
That's high.
Yep.
That's very high.
Would you like to know the percentage where both parties were residents?
Sure.
53.2.
Okay.
Phew.
Just
I know.
across the line, huh?
And where one was a resident and one was a non-resident, 11.2%. So in actual numbers, right? 117 marriages, nobody was Bermudian. 175, both were Bermudian.
Okay.
And 37, one was Bermudian.
Okay.
In actual numbers. Yeah?
Yeah.
You good?
Interesting.
I think so. That's what I'm saying. I think, okay, let's go, because I do want to just go back one bit. When it comes to the parishes,
Right.
it's interesting to me. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Twins, okay, or multiple births. That's recorded here as well.
Okay.
I must say, it's not something that I've really thought about,
Right.
okay? But how often do you think we have twins born in Bermuda? Like in a year, what do you think would be an average number of how many twins are born?
8.
What? I'm sorry. sorry.
Hey, yeah, take a drink of water. Go ahead.
My word, mate. No, to me,
Right.
I honestly, and I'm naive, I'm whatever. I thought if we got 2 sets of twins in a year, that was a bumper year.
Right.
Seriously.
Okay.
But, I just I don't know about these things. That's why we have data.
Yes.
You say 8. Like, that's a set of twins born better than one every other month.
No.
Twins.
Yes.
Mercy me. Would you like to know how many twins were born in 2024?
Definitely.
11.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I was wait.
No, but
It's one a month almost.
Yeah, but you have to look at what's happening now. They have actually fertility drugs that can help you along that road. Okay? When you consider that, then I think the chances of more twins above average will be born.
I'm just going to keep going. In 2023, you think fewer or greater than 11? Higher or lower? Higher or lower? What do you think?
Well.
So it's 11 in 2024. 2023, higher or lower than 11?
Higher.
Lower, 3.
Oh, just 3?
Just 3.
Wow. That's a big jump there.
And 2022, take a guess. 2022, 12. And then 2021, 4. 2020, 4. So it was low, then peaked, and then dropped, and then peaked.
You know what's interesting? What would be those twins born to Bermudians, mixed relationships as far as one being a Bermudian, one being a foreigner, and foreigners.
Well, I don't have that, but we do have the distribution of male, female, or like both male, both female, or male and female.
Okay.
And it's 10 over between 2020 and 2024, right? 10 were both males, 11 were both females, and 13 was a boy and a girl.
Okay.
This next section here, you're so bold today. I don't kind of want to ask you the question because I'm afraid.
Let me have it.
No, man. Okay. All right.
Drop it, man.
Not a problem. I suggest you give this some thought before you say the first thing on your mind, though.
I'm ready.
Okay? We're looking at the age of the mother having babies. You said drop it. I was going to warm you up. I was going to give you, but nope. So they have here 3 categories for the most part, of age groups.
Okay.
So between the ages of 30 and 34, between the ages of 35 and 39, and between the ages, let's do it the other way. Between 25 and 29, 30 and 34, and 35 and 39. Of those 3 groups, okay? Which age group do you think had the most babies?
35 to 20, 39.
35 to 39. You are incorrect. You are off by, actually, doesn't, not really. Would you like to take another guess?
I'm defeated. No.
Women between the ages of 30 and 34 years continue to account for the highest number of babies born in 2024 at 158, or 37.2%.
Okay.
This remains consistent with figures of the last 5 years. For the period of 2020 to 2024, women in the age group 35 to 39 accounted for the second highest number of babies, and women in the age group 25 to 29, the third highest.
You know where my logic came from?
This is where I'm getting nervous. Go on.
Okay, because, women, like they always say to us that the biological clock is running out. So it's like the last chance, so that's...
You've been listening to the voice of Willie Ferguson. This is now the voice of Corey Butterfield. And I'll just say, I'm going to keep reading because that man is not getting me in trouble. The 2 age groups of 30 to 34-year-olds and 35 to 39-year-olds were responsible for 66.8% of the 2024 babies. So, women between the ages of 30 and 39 were 66% of the babies.
Oh.
My question, we aren't the two to discuss this.
Okay.
But I know a bit about Bermuda society, its economy, its workforce,
right,
its voters. It would seem to me that would be the age when women are most, and I don't know whatever the word is.
Yes.
For men, we are the most, whatever that word is, at that age too. So I'm just wondering if this is a really, really good thing, or if it's just a natural state of things.
Well, if you're planning a family, to be, I guess, financially and otherwise ready for it, you'll be more of a mature person. That's how I think, anyway.
They don't have the, here it is. It's not tabulated properly here. But they did have the number for women between the ages of 20 and 24, and it's quite low.
Okay.
But let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How many babies do you think were born in 2024 to a mother between the ages of 16 and 19?
6.
Okay. Between 16 and 19, right? How many between How many under 16?
5.
My word, really?
Well,
Okay, just so you know, because I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure your view of all young Bermudian women. But just so you know, one child was born to women between the ages of 16 and 19.
Okay.
And one was born to a child under 16.
Wow.
Did you hear what I just said there?
I heard one.
No. Did you hear how it just came out of my mouth?
I heard it. Okay. No.
You sure?
Yes, 1.
I'm going to repeat it. No, because what I said was, and one was born to a child under 16. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you heard. That's what I'm saying. I even called the mother a child.
Okay.
That's what that is. What I'm saying.
Yes.
This is not really our area here.
Yes.
You and I probably should not be talking about this. But what I'm getting at, in 2024, there were 2 children born to mothers under the age of 19. Right?
Okay.
So you just put 2.
Okay.
You had 13. Right? But I'm just saying it's 2.
Okay.
And between the ages of 20 and 24 is also a very low number. Now, what I'm not going to do, I'm only going to say this because of the fact that we're discussing data. All I'm saying is I do believe that this report could not account for people who elect not to have the baby born.
Okay. Got you.
Thank you. Yep.
I want to explain something to you.
Sure.
Being as old as I am.
The vintage you are.
Yes.
Yes.
I come from an era when teen pregnancy was so-called deemed a problem.
Absolutely. I did want to talk about. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's based upon my answer was based upon that. That maybe I was under the thought that was continuing. Okay. So it's good to see that less of them maybe are not becoming pregnant, but are having babies.
So, yes. Yes. I would just say that these days,
Yes.
somebody, not me, should probably analyze this data against data from, say, 20 years ago.
Okay.
Because if you speak to certain people or don't even speak to certain people, if you are in the fields that I work in terms of data and advice and consultancy, then you do hear about operations and other things that, although illegal,
Yeah.
and trips away.
I was going to get to...
I'm so glad you're not.
No, but I'm going to say this.
I'm sure you are.
Is at all data collected for that?
I don't know. Well,
that they know of.
Well, I don't know, but I can tell you throughout the report, the births, they use the phrase live births.
Okay. So
Yeah.
someone could be pregnant and you wouldn't even know it. Really.
Exactly. But, one of the things that I would say is we should probably, not we, you and I,
No.
but, there's a country in Europe.
Right.
I saw that, I just can't remember the country. But they were giving young people housing and all sorts of things,
Yeah.
and not just young people, but people who were of an age to have a child. They were are very much concerned about their population and their birth rate.
Yes.
And so they incentivized people having children. And families. Sorry, that's probably the better way to put it. I'm sure it wasn't just go and have children. But, very much concerned about their population.
Right.
And so there are things, if you want to take up a society, population, think it matters, that you can do to incentivize families having children. If you do a survey and you say, hey, how come you all not having children? They say, we can't afford it.
Right.
Oh, we think cost of living is high. Well, that's something that as a interested party, an authority could deal with because it's money.
Yes.
If it's we can't or we don't want to, then not because of economy or whatever else, then that's a different issue. But it seems to be a positive thing in politics is skewed towards families.
I was just thinking, I had the thought that perhaps it's an indicator of the low birth rate is associated with the cost of living.
Right. Well, I think you're probably right, but that's I think that the things that add up to that thought are things within the control of the people who would want families. That's what I'm getting at, right? So if somebody is thinking, hey, if I have a child in 2026, you know what, example, and I'm not endorsing or sponsoring or whatever, but Work Academy's fees are going to be X by then.
Yes, okay.
Okay? And so they're thinking, man, by the time they get to college, it's going to be X times 6. So are there things like, and the stuff I've been reading this weekend, the role of public education was and what it was, right? Yeah. That deterioration or undermining it, if it's perceived, if it's not actually going down, but it's perceived to have gone down, impacts what people think educating their child is. Right. Therefore, the job they have to have, what they'll accept on the job because they got to pay that tuition.
Yes.
All of that. Really, we have a caller. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Been trying for about an hour to get on. But anyhow, I was wondering, are the statistics delineating between local and foreign?
They are.
And I'll say this.
Sorry.
Because Bermuda is a destination wedding spot.
Yes.
And so with that, that could skew the numbers if you're looking at it thinking that it's over median. And also, with children, there seems to be a high proliferation of non-Bermudian children or parents, children being born to non-Bermudian parents also. So are your statistics sharing that? Because that could actually skew the numbers also. So I'll listen off here.
Cool. I want to thank you. Actually, I did read that out. I'll read it again. There were 329 marriages in Bermuda for the year that ended the 31st of December, 2024. Of the 329 marriages, 117 took place between parties who were both non-residents. So of the 329, 35.6% flew in to get married here. Or somehow they're here without being resident. And I'm not exactly sure how they pull that off. So I'm just going to say that of the 117 or 35.6%, where neither person was resident, the only way they got a marriage license in Bermuda and got married in Bermuda, neither of them being resident here, would be tourists and coming in to get married that way. In terms where both people were residents or both parties, that was 53%. So there was 35.6%, neither was Bermudian, 53.2%, both were Bermudian. Or 117 marriages happened between parties where neither was resident here, and 175 happened between people where they were both resident here. And then 37 marriages was between one resident and one non-resident. I hope that clarifies that the majority was between 53% was between parties who were both resident here, and 11% was one of each, and 35.6% neither was resident here. So I would say the marriage destination kind of type people. The male-female, the other thing that isn't, and it might be in the tables, right? So this is just the excerpt I've taken from that chapter, and I didn't go in where all the data is. But the other interesting thing, and I found this quite interesting, really, and I kind of want your opinion on this. When I say your opinion, it was a curiosity. And I said, I wonder what really thinks about this. everywhere throughout the births. The wedlock, in or out, is there.
Right.
Not race. And the country we've lived in all this time, I would have thought that the thing that would have showed more than wedlock would be race.
Definitely. Especially since we have something called a census.
Yeah.
Census always asks you, what race are you?
So we have age, whether married or not.
Right.
But I just found the publication. I'm not saying that the data's not in there. It is, but of the things to highlight, wedlock
Yeah.
is. I found that startling. I couldn't wait to talk to you about this, by the way. I just wanted you because I didn't. It's not even. I'm just trying to figure out what that's an indicator of the people who read these reports. Got me? Because we have a society where there are a lot. In fact, I think I should probably deal with this. No, I wasn't going to deal with this way. I had a whole different show for this. Honestly, I can't believe it. This is a dot that wasn't supposed to be connected. This was like a dot connected to a dash. That wasn't supposed to happen. But, you know what? I'm going to go for it.
Go ahead.
All right. This is not going to be a speech, but it is something that I thought I had prepared, which is why it's probably come to my head, but it wasn't for even January. I thought March, honestly. Right. But it goes something like this. If the country that we call home, what we do and how we live, we haven't always celebrated. And we have just kind of gotten through it. I consider it sort of like if you deck out at the school. You're going to jump up on that bike so quick, right? Hopefully nobody saw you deck out and roll on.
Yeah.
Now, you may have all kinds of pain, okay? But you may pull your sock up to cover the road rash to just make it to the infirmary or the clinic, right? You're just going to do a thing. And so when, you know what, the thought's going right out of my head. That's told me I'm not supposed to do this today. I'm telling you.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about this a lot. And I said, no, not today. And I can't even, now it's going. What was I saying, Billy?
That's a good question.
Exactly. So that's how you know we're not supposed to do it. So on the race of births,
right?
Okay, on the whether being Bermudian or not, these are the issues, the big issue, right? And when I can tell you about a woman who was brought to Bermuda to tell black people stop having children, I have a name in my head, but I think I'm probably wrong, so I don't want to say the wrong name. I'll have it for Wednesday. But when that person was brought in, right, and it was a full-on, trust me, okay? Then when you add social engineering,
right,
okay, the type of job that you do if you're a black male, the type of job you do if you're a white male. By the time that social engineering kicks in, right, you get generations believing, and you know why I know what I'm talking about? Because I face this every single month. A month does not pass. Oh, last month passed, it didn't happen. Where I am not in a room or considering a proposal. I'm the only man. And I am not the one who people think has something to contribute. Because I'm the man.
Really?
Right? My world doesn't have any men in it. There is no man I know who does what I do in Bermuda.
Oh.
I've not competed for a job or put in something, so strategic planning, or I do a lot of that stuff.
Right.
I don't think I've ever lost one to a man.
Okay.
Seriously. That's a role that our country sees women do, right? If I asked you, what does the stereotypical real estate agent look like? Did you just picture Mr. Philip Smith?
No.
I didn't think you did.
No.
Okay? So that's what the social engineering produces. And so a lot of stuff I have to write and don't put my name, right? Because I'm a man. And I know there are people saying, what? Women go through? We can have that debate. We can have that debate because let me tell you, I've been receiving emails. I had to reply to an email I received last week. And I'm going to put it out there. But there's a serious concern from someone who's been writing to me, would like for me to see what I can do, see what we can do.
Okay.
Okay. And because I can't ambush these people anyway, so I'm going to put it right on here today.
Yes.
There are people who've been writing to me extremely concerned about the Gender Affairs Council.
Okay.
Okay. So I looked it up. What's the gender? It sounds, right? Tame enough. And when I looked...
Yeah, okay. Well, we're taking a little break right now. But I understand exactly what you're saying because it came across... I got an email same time.
Oh, really?
And it was from an individual who was concerned about what was explained and what they're pushing for.
Right. Well, let me just say, when I do my little research or take stuff, I understand what people have asked me to do and what they want me to do, and I look to see, right?
Right.
So the person who wrote to me told me they were very concerned with an agenda of homosexuality that they think is going on.
Right.
Okay. And I would say, because they wrote, I have no evidence of that, no research, no data, nothing. I haven't spoken to anybody yet. I know absolutely nothing. That's actually not my issue, concern, approach, or anything. You know what my issue is? How do you have a Gender Affairs Council, have all boys, males, in the state they're in, and not prioritize males?
Yeah.
Now, that I did look up. I want to see what programs a Gender Affairs Council, because Mincy and everybody else, we know what happens to school age males. So if you're a Gender Affairs Council, my assumption was they're going all in on males. Because there are a ton of organizations, initiatives, events going on for females.
Right.
And I'm using the word female and male because it's talking about gender.
Yes.
Guys, because they're boys and girls or teens or whatever. But that's my only issue. I don't know whatever else they're doing, but if they are not prioritizing males, then they're not a proper, honest Gender Affairs Council. Because you can't look objectively at the state of gender in this country and think, oh, boys are straight.
Yeah.
You can't conclude that. So I'll look into it when it's time, but I got to tell you, my whole thing was I expected to find a raft of things for boys, males, if you will, teens, whatever it is. We have how many reports, how many expulsions, how many things do you need before you need to act? You're right, teen pregnancy, massive. And what happened? Passed law. Even if the girl thinks she's consenting, by law, that's not consent.
Thank you.
That was about as much as officialdom could do and tell you'll be sentenced, right?
May I add the results of that?
Please do.
It speaks volumes. There has been a drastic decrease.
You don't
drastic decrease. Okay? So these are the things like this council would take care of when it comes to our, in particular, black males.
Hey, I'm just saying, to me, if you call anything gender affairs in the 2020s, males have got to be. It's just it's impossible to be honest and not deal, given the data and the state of our country.
Agreed.
You just right. I haven't finished this day, but I'm going to put this aside now. I did see something else. And this is one of the questions that it's not a question, but I want to just make a note.
Okay.
Okay? St. George's is a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Definitely, yeah.
And I have taught a lot about St. George's given over the years.
Yes.
And I have been, and I probably shouldn't say this, I don't want big man getting in any difficulties, but I have been less than complimentary about the location of the latest hotel in St. George's.
Okay.
I have been probably rude with my opinion of it. In fact, I know I have been. When I present, I have to present about St. George's.
Right.
I am extremely, and you put whatever word you want there about that location and something private being built there. And one of the issues I'm having is the United Nations sent a team down and did a report on St. George's. And there were, quite a few recommendations. And even if there wasn't a lot of recommendations, the ones that are made are pretty serious. It's almost embarrassing in that we have to be told this.
Yeah. I read something too, and doesn't look as if we were prepared.
No, we are prepared. And this is why I thought, look, I had to say, I'm not going over this.
Right.
I refuse.
Okay.
But I'm just going to read one bullet point. One. And if anybody has the UNESCO World Heritage Site report into St. George's, it was, I think, published in December. Might have been November. I'm looking at page 44, bullet point 20. The heading, St. Regis Resort and Residences Development Project. And bullet point 20 says, reconsider the project of the 5 residential buildings to be constructed in order to mitigate the adverse impact on the setting of the fortifications and the buffer zone of the World Heritage property. So they're concerned that the residential buildings might impact the value of the forts. And the buffer zone between World Heritage Site and non-World Heritage Site. I have spoken countless times about the role of money, capital, commerce, versus the role of society, community, equity, something. 1684, Bermuda Company leaves, the prices don't change.
Right.
That's not getting rid of the oppression, it's getting rid of the oppressor and maintaining the oppression because you benefit. I don't know why a private business is at the spot where this country was founded. I cannot understand that. But is there really a competition between allowing a foreign-owned entity to do something that might impact the literal history of the country and how it's perceived by the United Nations and all the other World Heritage Sites? Because people have passports that go around the world and they tick off the sites they're going to.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how we even have that on a scale. How do we even have to balance that out? How does that even get on a scale? You know how? The same way Southampton Princess STO does.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know, and if every Bermudian should own a piece of the rock, if that's no longer who we are as Bermudians, then let's all just vote and say that. I, for one, don't agree. I, for one, still believe a Bermudian should be able to go to public school, go to college, come back, and get a family and mortgage and house and what. I still, I guess, dopely believe that. And if you're not going to do that, it's a new year. But I dopely believe that. And let me tell you what's bigger than believing it. Make me Minister of Education. Take a guess what I demand from that public education system.
Well, tell us.
All I'm saying, I don't want to be a politician, trust me. All I'm saying, though, is if that's not the sense of mission, where, I hate to put it this way, let's do the reverse. The reverse is your parents have to be wealthy to put you in private school in order for you to get to the college you need to get the degree from an institution that be respected back in Bermuda.
Yeah.
To get a good job in IB.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep.
And if that's what Bermuda is, and everybody who doesn't do that can go to cosmetology school, great. Okay? It's just not the Bermuda, and just admit it.
Right.
Right? And then and the country needs to admit that that's what we want. That we want haves and have-nots. The middle, who cares? Move to England.
Yeah.
Move to Jamaica. Move to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. That's what you're supposed to do. Raise your children here, but when they get a certain age, leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just... But my point is, if we don't care about the World Heritage, then let's not care.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even have the body down there to manage it anymore. Right? So why are we even faking it? Just tell the UN we don't want it. Here, you can take the status back.
Mm.
And I honestly don't understand why we don't just accept these things. Because if it does matter, then make it matter.
Well, Corey, it scares me to think that was one point you brought up.
One.
Mm-hmm. That's one. I'm almost afraid to ask you for any others.
Let me put it to you this way. I read you that one because that heading was St. Regis Resort and Residences.
Right.
I could read you one under protection and management measures concerning the World Heritage property, or management system in the current draft management plan. Identify as a matter of urgency a single management body responsible for coordinating the World Heritage property management system. There's not anybody in place to even coordinate it. I say, I read the one. The government of Bermuda should provide an adequate budget for the maintenance of historic buildings that serve public functions within the town of St. George's, and for the maintenance, preservation, and long-term restoration of the fortifications that form the components of the World Heritage property.
Wow.
Somebody got to tell you to do that? I found a interesting column from 1924. There's a letter to the editor. Mm-hmm. And the reason I brought it is because it shows progress.
Okay.
We have come a long way.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And I think it's going to, the language gets a little shaky. Not bad, just flowery, poetic. But I want you to, I know the listeners don't really see you when you do this, but you'll, sometimes when I'm reading something, really sits back, he closes his eyes, and is gone. Right? He's picturing the things that I'm saying. He'll tell me, hey man, I just heard the creaking of the ship on the ocean, or yeah, I saw the dirt road leading up to Whale Bay, and all those things.
You're correct. Mm-hmm.
Right. So on this one here, it was a letter to the editor that is headed, Why Visitors Do Not Return. Now, this is 1924. We know in the 90s and 80s, we had about 70% repeat,
yeah,
which created its own problem, mm-hmm, because now we're in 2025 and those people have gone to glory, yes, and their children and grandchildren have no interest vacationing where they vacationed.
Yes.
Right? And until I say it to Bermudians, because I've had to, been in a few focus groups and whatever, right? But what happened, I heard it from someone who loved Bermuda. This is a very wealthy American man. And he wanted to do a lot for Bermuda, tourism-wise, management-wise, mm-hmm, and said the problem is that his son is obvious. And I said, what do you mean? He says, do you think my son, who's got his money, right, wants to go where I went?
Right.
Right? And I'm not talking, I don't travel a whole lot, but I don't know that I've been anywhere my parents went. Or, let me flip the script. I doubt they went to the places I did. Things change.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, on this one, it was when we got so many repeat guests, we sort of maintain that market rather than seeking new markets.
Yeah.
And I think we're now, because if you look at the data and you ask Americans, like, why don't you come to Bermuda, or what is it? They don't know about us. I know, but trust me. So we got repeat guests, is my point. But that's why I'm finding this a bit interesting, because it's from a century ago.
Right.
And we did get repeat guests.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing to recall is this was written 2 years after the Turkestan Agreement. Not that they were set up yet.
Right.
They were properly set up by, say, 1930. You really get 29, you get a really impact of Turkestan. But the agreement was like 1921, 1922. Okay. So this is 1924. There's no way they were done in 2 years. Right? Still Bermuda construction, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why tourists, actually it's the visitors, why visitors do not return? And just listen to how far we've come in a century. The explanation of the low percentage of returning visitors to Bermuda, 2%, if that is correct, is not difficult to explain. Bermuda is doing all she can, unwittingly surely, to discourage their return. It is a foregone conclusion that by visitors is meant American visitors, the comparative percentage of other visitors being almost nil. If this be true, then Mudians should shake off that Rip Van Winkle sleep in which they seem to be indulging and do something for the people whom they are seeking to attract. It is not too much to say that the reverse is the case, that, in fact, they are doing all they can to discourage the American visitor. Americans have a well-defined trait about which Bermudians know nothing. This to the Bermudians' loss. The American wastes health, wastes food, wastes money, but under no circumstances can he be brought to waste time. Nothing meets his condemnation more than slow service at his meals, his shopping, his traveling, transportation, and especially swift approach to the pastimes he seeks when he travels, as golf, tennis, dancing, and bridge. The hotels in Bermuda give him all these as when he, what is going on here? As he likes them except golf, the very thing he most craves, the one thing denied him at home in the winter, the thing he leaves home to secure. A national phrase in America is, I'll try anything once. The American tries Bermuda, fails to get what he wants, his golf, and stays away. It would seem that unless something is done about it, touring to Bermuda from the States is going to be confined to the day trippers who have notably lean purses. There is no accessible golf course in all Bermuda, accessible as the American loves accessibility in golf, patronizes it, and goes in droves to reach it in Florida and the other southern states. 2 hours per day out of a man's life, an American's life, mind you, makes 240 days of time in a month, merely getting somewhere to play the game. It is too much to ask of any man, but especially too much to ask of the swift-moving American. Yet it takes that time, 2 hours. That's what they're talking about. Okay, it takes 2 hours to get to golf.
Yes.
Okay, but yet it takes that time, going and coming, and more, to reach Riddle's Bay, the best of the 3 nearest golf courses, with its lack of proper length and unkept greens and fairways. The American man of money will pay any price for the thing he wants, but distinctly he will not pay time, precious life, merely to approach the thing that he wants. Not unreasonably, he wishes to give that time to the thing itself, and then be about something else. In that way, he argues, he lives longer than other people, because through this economy of time, he does more, sees more. If, therefore, Bermuda will not give him this golfing advantage, the American will stay away. The Garrison course is not so much a golf course as a joke. It has not the sign of a green, nothing but the fairway clipped short and a leap from jag to jag. I have never tried the Spanish Point course, reports from other Americans who tried it once being sufficient to keep me away. And the garrison is, to all Americans, inaccessible and time-wasting. The mid-ocean course is unquestionably one of the world's beautiful courses. But like the other courses named, it is again inaccessibly distant and open to nobody except by invitation. What the American tourist wants and what he will patronize to the full is a hotel on a golf course, as at Riddles Bay. What an opportunity there. And at Spanish Point, if there be ground sufficient and a real golf course made of it. Until such things be, the low percentage of returning visitors from America is going to continue. Americans are keenly alive to the beauty of Bermuda, and also alive to the exaggeration indulged in the advertisements of Bermuda, such as 2 days to summer weather, and the knowing ones always bring furs. 2 days to an electric hot water trickler. 2 days to comfortless beds, except at the hotels. 2 days to thin bathtubs and smoky chimneys. But the worst weather Bermuda has to offer in winter is more acceptable to Americans than the snow, sleet, and cold of the north. They will not come here, though, if the male cannot golf conveniently. The money spenders of the tribe, the females, may say and do what they like. The he-birds with them and go where they can find golf pickings just outside their nesting places, to Florida, to Nassau, where sea swimming is agreeable in January, coming north as the season advances. It is said that the Bermudiana was to have been built at Tucker's Town, that it was not built there for fear of the commercial interests of Hamilton would suffer. But Lord, to borrow a Samuel Pepsin phrase, what a fallacy. As if anything could keep women with money and idle time from playing the game of dress with other women. The other thing, besides Bermuda's beauty, with which Americans are in full sympathy with, is the absence of the railway and the automobile. Its dangers, its noise, its odors. Yet, something must be done in the interest of swifter, cheaper transportation than the grafting, unjust, exorbitant method now in use. $2 to $4 is a pretty steep price to pay for a cup of tea. Many women pay it daily, having no other recourse, distances to friends being too great for walking. Relief must come, I should think, in an electric tramway. As the able Veritas suggests, it might be tried out between 2 points, from the Apothecary's Hole to Riddles Bay. The result of such a trial, I believe, could have but one result in this exquisite island of expensive distances. I'm saying that to say, no cars, 2 hours to get to the golf course, or an hour to get there, an hour back.
Right.
And we had 2% repeat tourists in 1924.
Wow.
The frightening thing about this, and which is why I tell this story of the lion and the hunter, why being Bermudian is hearing Tucker's Town and being vexed and angry and embarrassed by the government as a black Bermudian, and being vexed, embarrassed as a white Bermudian as well. Mm-hmm. You ought to, if you're decent. But here, we know that, I can tell you, that in 1931, Furnace Withy brought 31,000 tourists to Bermuda. Prior to that, we averaged around 4,000 tourists. Tucker's Town worked as a tourism thing. But it ripped our society apart. In 2022, we had to deal with landlord's commission because families are still seeking justice because of what was done at Tucker's Town. And so the cost, I would say, was too high for the dollar. With given a century on, we're still looking at landlord's commissions where families are still traumatized from that. It's a price too high, clearly.
Yeah.
But here's the why I find this a century ago, the guy is saying, he's writing, Americans need swifter service. They'll pay whatever, But it's not about expense, it's about value. That's what the letter was about. You know how many conversations I have about value in the country? That conversation is still going on.
Yeah.
Right? So he says that, but we do only now, essentially, have American tourists. So how did this... You understand what I'm saying? A century ago, we're going after Americans and saying, yo, we only got 2% repeat. They're coming, but they're not liking it.
Right.
We end up in the 80s and 90s getting so many that we stopped looking at Canada, Europe, other islands, Asia, right? We just didn't do any of that. And so now we are at a state where I can tell you, I've spoken to tourism consultants. There's a course, I've written courses for the BTA.
Okay.
And that data about the country and tourism and who comes here and why they come, that's what we're going through now. There's a course that I do on the program of the National Tourism Plan. So it talks about the research and the visitors and whatnot. Do you want to...
It's quite interesting what you just said. So what brought the American tourists to Bermuda?
So what we've done, the challenge and it's even going on right now. So one of the courses that I have to teach, I don't think it's in here, is the Introduction to Hospitality. And we show something from London. And this is one of the things that we've done that still comes up and will continue to come up because Bermudians or the powers that be still want that wealthy tourist. And so it's actually right here. From 2017, there was a billboard, and it's something I have to show when I deal with the BTA. But if anybody did the anchor program and did the Understanding Hospitality course, it's something like page 48. There's a massive billboard that was by I think it's called Westfield Mall in London. Huge billboard. And in 2017, I think it was 2017, might have been 2020, the powers that be in Bermuda had a billboard, and it was a massive sign that said, "Hello, Bermudaful," right? That's one of the things that was there. But the billboard was only triggered if your car cost more than £40,000 and was less than 3 years old. And so what happened with this billboard, in fact, the picture that we show, the billboard shows "Hello, Bermudaful," and in the end they say like sort of "you in the Porsche," because there's a Porsche that is actually going around the roundabout that the billboard is addressing, because that Porsche triggered the technology for the billboard to send that message to wealthy people. So between that, advertising in America, plus black card like membership, newsletters and magazines and things like that. So the problem was, from the ministry to the department, and only recently, I would say under recent consultancy and a recent plan, we have sought after the same tourist. And as a result, we don't know, or many more people don't know us, because that's not how we advertise. Our proximity doesn't matter because of Bahamas and Florida, okay? And they exploit that. So when I traveled in the past for the government and had to go to a conference, that conference was in Bahamas, but the breakfast buffet, I was actually shocked. I took other officials to go see it, reflected what Southern Americans would want to eat, because that weekend was Martin Luther King birthday weekend. And so this hotel had actually run a campaign special where they gave hotel guests who were coming up to $300 for travel.
Right.
So pretty much the plane ride was on the hotel, and once they got you to the hotel, that's when the bill started. So the largest bowl I have ever seen was there, and it had grits in there. And I called the Bermudian tourism officials over and I said, "I want you to see something," and showed them this bowl. And I said, "Tell me something. You think Bahamians eat grits?" Like, do you think this is a national and a bull this size, right? So it's real work, this tourism industry. This article from 2024 is about efficiency, value.
Yes.
That's what we're doing now. The only difference that I can tell here between then and now is we have, and I've put this actually in some other stuff with the BTA, but I had told you there were 10 things that the Trade Development Board did to control Bermuda so that it was conducive to the tourists they wanted. And they said, we can't get rid of segregation because that'll undermine decades of building up Bermuda under a white racial aesthetic.
Yes.
Okay? That's what was said. That was 1955. You know, come to 2025, let's say, and the pursuit of cup match, the holding of carnival.
Yes.
These are things that back in 1955 would not have been contemplated in terms of tourists coming. And this person in 1925 or 24 definitely wasn't considering anything like that. So I just thought from a century ago, and given how far we turned that around, and teen pregnancy turned around and other things, when I say we need a new system, we've done it before.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like we're living the way we did back in 1500s.
So true.
What's on your mind?
That was very interesting.
Okay. What's going on?
We had a visitor.
Okay.
And they brought me some pumpkin, banana, raisin loaf.
Okay.
And you're free to help yourself.
Okay. I want to thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I want to thank you.
That's how we go.
No, that is not how we go. That's
share.
how I go. No.
We share. I'm sharing with you now.
Okay. I'm not even going to, I've been on my best behavior to not say a lot of things to you today about food. And you're now going to try to pretend like you are a sharing, giving person?
I am. I eat, you eat.
Nate, somebody gave you something for me, and because you ate, I didn't eat. What you mean?
You know something?
So anyway, it's after 4. It's going 4, and yes, it is
already. Okay.
Yes, it is, and so I get to get rid. So we're going to be wrapping up soon.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And I wanted to do one thing before we go. So we're going. Go on.
Sure.
I thought you were going to. No.
No.
Okay.
No.
So here's my thing. I was reading a lot this weekend, and I've had a thought, and I contemplated not saying anything, saying something, and I realized that I got to start living a little better. This thing that's on my phone, and this thing on my phone says, "What if is fear, and even if is faith." Okay. So I'm going to put it out there, even if. We signed off on Thursday.
Yeah.
We had a very, very late visitor. In fact, I'm surprised he called us here.
Yeah.
Because we should have been going.
Yeah.
And I'll tell our listeners, it was none other than Mr. Actually, you know something people may not know about. If you've been a cabinet minister for more than 3 years, you get to keep honorable.
Yes.
For life. So the Honorable Dale Butler came to visit us, and he had a lot to say about the man who became Senator Arnett Jackson. But he was speaking about the speech that I read out from Barclay's prize giving that Arnett Jackson had given about, he was charging the students to be Bermudian.
Yes.
Not black Bermudian, not white Bermudian, not superior Bermudian, not inferior Bermudian, be Bermudian. Okay? And Butler came by with handwritten notes about things that we needed to hear or learn and how that speech impacted him.
Yes.
And I spent a lot of time this weekend thinking about Mr. Butler. I did. And I said, on Monday, I'm going to try something. And I'm going to do it. I know we're out of time, but go in time. But I want to read something I read out before. This is not new. But I'm going to read it, and then I want to say something about it, okay?
Okay.
This was an article in the Workers' Voice from 1975. Was I even in primary school yet? No, I'm just joking. 1975, okay? And it's in the Workers' Voice, and it's written by Dale Butler. Under the title, A Student Speaks On. So the Workers' Voice had a series, A Student Speaks On,
Yes.
and then they will have the column. So the section, A Student Speaks On, the subheading, the PLP and independence.
Okay.
I was going to say it after. I think best I say it first. I wanted to read this. At the time, the context was in preparation for being government, the PLP must embrace everything that's Bermudian. That's the message to the PLP that Mr. Butler is actually conveying. How I want to use this today is if you even took out that he was talking to a political party, just listen to the values that Mr. Butler has, okay? Just the values that he has in this statement, okay, in this column. Just give me 1 minute. All right.
Right.
Here we go. The road to independence and self-determination is paved with many obstacles, and any superficial attempts to remove them will lead only to failure and numerous setbacks. To become independent, we must have an overall approach that will encompass national issues, great and small. Such a policy must move one step at a time, and any attempt to jump the gun will only send us down the snake and not up the ladder. The present Progressive Labour Party's policy of firing unloaded machine guns in an attempt to wound members who accept awards from the colonial overlords is a senseless one. The party platform must be much broader than just picking on one or two minor matters and attacking them. To win the support of the people, the party must realize that the people are essentially converts of colonial type rule. In order to win the support of the electorate, the party must provide an attractive alternative. It must become more nationalistic. To gain control of government, there are only two avenues open. The first is a violent revolution. Practicality? Impossible and unthinkable, as there is no machinery, no defense from foreign aggression, and it would be un-Bermudian. The second alternative seems to be more likely to achieve a greater degree of success. Nationalism is the key. By enthusiastically supporting everything Bermudian, the PLP can establish itself as a party of the people's culture. Support the Gumbays, Easter Parade, National Trust, softball, cup match, etc. Present cups and awards. The party should have its own awards, for instance, for service to the party. How about the Cedar Sword for services to the community or the educational field? The Gumbay Shield or hat for services to entertainment. The highest award should perhaps be the Dr. Gordon Award for services to the community, dedication and sincerity in all dealings with the people of the community. Twice I was gonna pause and I didn't. I'm going to pause there.
Okay.
Imagine Dale Butler in 75, right? Say this person really cares about Bermudian community. He didn't know the man he was going to become.
Yeah, it's true.
This is 75 now. I would have had to say more than that about Butler.
Yeah.
Than he was saying about Gordon.
Yes.
Gordon.
Okay. It's true.
Okay? Just let that penetrate for a bit. Because dedication, service, and sincerity to the community, Butler's so sincere, he tells you off.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You know, let me just tell you a little story. I wasn't going to tell this story, right? But my very second time I had to present for the BTA, I've been working with Cordell Riley. And Cordell did the first half, and he told me I was going to do the second half. So I'm nervous. And front row is Dale Butler. And let me just tell you something. If you're listening, Mr. Butler, what happened, this was 2016, I think it was. We were in Goslin's wine cellar presenting upstairs. I got the fish cakes. And I had read, again, I'm going to say, read, right, what was there. Butler lost his mind. Right? People in the room, somebody suggested, there's no curry in that. You got to put curry in there, Corey. And I said, well, good. Well, Butler took on that.
Right.
Somebody else said they put oregano and or thyme.
Right.
He took on that. And I don't mean took it on, like told them off.
Right.
Right? We didn't have curry leaf in this country. It definitely could not have been in an authentic fish cake.
There you go.
I could go on, right,
Yes.
about when things arrived in Bermuda.
Yes.
And so, to Butler's point, you can stand here, represent the culture, the tourism, whatever, right? And anybody in the room who thought there was another way for authentic, make them however you want, but just do not claim they are the Bermudian authentic fish cake if you're sprinkling, spreading, mixing, folding, that other stuff in it.
Yes.
And then let me just also say here about these awards. The Drum Major Awards under the PLP, they were created. It's interesting. I don't know if Butler was on the committee that did that, but the Drum Major Awards, and this is what I'm going to probably get me in trouble, but I stopped caring a long time ago on this part. But the Drum Major Awards, they are, I believe, called as such because I believe Martin Luther King used that phrase in a speech, be a drum major for this, a drum major for that. No? Okay, I'll say it. No, I'll say it. Imagine choosing drum major and not Cedar Award, Gumby Shield, Gumby hat. Bermudian. And this man's a life member. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't want to go too far. These awards could have numerous names and could take many forms, but it would be essential that they be not lightly given and be considered of great value. Only by replacing the present system of awards made by the colonial overlords with an award system of their own will the party attract new membership. Only then can they justifiably reprimand a member for accepting a colonial award. Why did the committee think there's no national heroes in the country? Oops. Therefore, any party pushing for independence must be nationalistic and encourage everything Bermudian. Here, here.
Yes.
And I mean really support every Bermudian institution and actively, financially, physically, and by giving praise and help. Only then, when the party organ is seen to be playing its nationalistic role, will the people become interested in joining the party and fighting for independence. Today, the party tune is a minor bleep at infrequent intervals. What is needed is a symphony. More noise, more harmony, more togetherness, and more drive and consistency. The PLP's present policy of independence leaves much to be desired. The fight for independence is going to require a hell of a lot more than a reprimand and just shouting for independence. In order to achieve independence, the party must first establish itself as a party interested in and devoted to the perpetuation of Bermudian culture and the Bermudian way of life.
Yes.
Could they even define it? Then it must establish a meaningful policy to determine our future destiny. Nationalism is essentially support of a national culture and a drive towards self-determination, political, social, economic, etc. However, if we are to determine our own future, then the foreigner must be removed. In order to remove the expatriate, the party must encourage the younger generation of Bermudians to qualify for all areas of employment and encourage those already qualified to return home to contribute their qualifications towards the better running of the community. And what is the immigration numbers now?
Wow.
5,000 people gave Bermuda as their country of origin in the last 2016 UK census. We did not attract them back. We sent them away.
Yes.
If we want independence, let's do it properly. Let's become nationalistic. Let's have a system of awards of our own, and let's have a policy that will attract the people. At the present time, there is UBP propaganda against independence. We must counteract this. Already, some idiot has tried to frighten us with the threat of communism. Let's strike now, before that idiot is given a chance to strike again.
Here, here.
Dale Butler. He signed. I said Dale Butler, right? Butler and Butterfield on the same page, being Bermudian.
Yes.
Okay, if you start at level 1, if you're somebody who just wants to get to level 2 anyway, whatever you're doing, then if you say you're Bermudian, what's the next thing for Bermudian? And guess who else thinks that? Lord Pitt.
Well, said it.
The colonial power said it.
Well,
Okay? And let me tell you, this governor we currently have, the other day, in case anybody thinks it's old days and old times, okay, I'll show you how the new colonialism works. He praised us the other day. Did you hear him?
Yes, he did.
Oh, you heard him?
Yes, I did.
What did you sure we're talking about the same thing?
Maybe. I know in the RG there was an article put up. Where
I didn't think I saw that.
Yes.
Oh.
And he hailed Bermudians and the culture that we have here.
Maybe we are talking about the same thing. I didn't find it all that attractive, what he said. What I saw, he likened us to a town in England.
Yeah. Well,
mate, if you don't understand the English and how much of an insult that was, you think he doesn't know how long we've been here?
of course he does.
He doesn't know our global international thing. And who does he liken us to?
An English
We
town.
punch up over some English town.
Yeah.
I've been to some English towns. Mate, they're not as good. It's time to go, Billy. I'm going to say something I shouldn't. Oh, I'm being Bermudian. What's on your mind?
You know something? It's been very interesting today.
Really?
Once again, you opened my mind to a lot of other things. Not just that, you expanded it.
Ooh.
And for that, I thank you.
You're welcome. I actually thought we were going to sign off today, and you were going to say, Butterfield, what happened today? You were kind of off it. What you?
No, let me tell you, we never know what's going to be talked about on this show. It don't even make no sense having a script because we just go into what needs to be said. And that's how a conversation goes. Remember, we are having a conversation.
Yes.
And we just happen to have listeners.
Okay.
Okay? Should we be afraid or timid to say what is on your mind or my line? No, that's not Bermudian at all.
We can't do that.
And we have to stop this hiding and whispering. Say it loud. Say it proud.
Easy, Willie.
No, I'm serious.
I know.
I'm really being serious right now.
I know, and I know what you. I know.
If we want our country to progress and be the country that we see it can be, then guess what? It ain't going to happen by people going behind closed doors and saying what's on their mind.
No, exactly. And in fact, you know, a lot of what we do here, what's, I guess, discussed in other places, I think, I know. It's us. It's a mindset. It's nothing physical or financial or anything else.
Right.
Okay? Honestly, it's just us. And if we had more faith in ourselves, if we trusted ourselves, if we realized the reason we don't is because somebody else's agenda put us like that, then we can go forward. Yeah. And I'm not even, like, independence, I get it, but just understanding that there is a Bermudian kind of lifestyle, it has gotten us all this time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, let me finish off with this. I lost my wallet last week.
Okay.
Okay. And for me, I shouldn't call it a wallet. It's a card holder, right? It's got 2 slots on it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what it is. And I lost it. And I am someone, mate, I could put down a tissue.
Yes.
That has been used. And if I come back to put it in the trash and it's not there, I will wonder what happened to it. Where did it, right? I will.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't find my wallet from last week, Monday,
Right.
until Friday. The whole week. And the reason why I was so confused was because I was talking to my brother about this on Saturday. I did find it, right, on Friday. So I'm talking to my brother about it on Saturday, and I'm saying, you know, Chris, it's just interesting, but the reason I didn't know where it was because I knew, had I left it somewhere, I'd have had it back by now. And then we just kept on talking. And so a few minutes later, I said, wait a minute. I said, hey, Chris, did you hear what I just said? He said, yes, and you're right. Now, I don't know if you picked up on it, but what I'm getting at, is I know my country and my people.
Right.
And I was convinced, I know it like I know today is Monday, that if I was in a shop or pharmacy, restaurant, wherever, and had left it there, I would have had it back by now.
Right.
So that told me it was somewhere in the house, in the car, or I threw it away, the trash or whatever, but I knew it was in somewhere.
Right.
And that's my country in 2026, that I know it would have been returned.
Yeah.
I would have had it back by now. That's why I was stressing. I was like, oh man, this thing's going, because I'd have had it.
Right.
That's the country we live in. Tourists get wallets and keys and phones, all kinds of things back. That's who we be.
Yes.
All right, man, we're out of here.
Yeah, okay.
You want to say goodbye to the folks?
Well, I'm going to say goodbye, but before I do,
Oh, my.
I'm going to say, let's not be afraid to have the conversations that matter.
Hey, man, let me tell you, this show, it even helps me. So I was a little concerned about doing the birth rates from the Registrar General.
Right.
Not sure about male, female, the auto wedlock thing. Yeah, kind of sensitive.
Right.
Right. And I had one now MP who he's passed now, but he says, Corey, boy, I could tell you, I was canvassing in the early 80s, and I was a little different. And he was an older man, right?
Right.
So I said, what do you mean? He says, well, you go canvassing, hey, but things started changing in the 70s.
Yes.
I said, what happened? He says, you knock on the door. And, oh, yeah, my friend, he just happens, he just swung by to,
Yes.
the light switch was out. Nah, Corey, there's 3 pairs of shoes there. There's 2 plates in the sink. The man obviously lives there, right? But this change in society, right, of people living, So I'm just saying these things come.
Yes.
Right? And being Bermudian is the mix of privacy and knowing your neighbor and not knowing your neighbor and saying you don't know him and,
Yes.
But we're Bermudian, man.
Yes.
All right. You want to come back on Wednesday?
Yeah, I'll be here.
So will I. Thank you so much for your time today listening. Really looks like you're biting at it. You sure it's nothing?
Not sure.
Okay, that explains it. Take care, everybody. Have a very, very good evening.
Bermuda Live on YouTube. Subscribe now.